Today I'm going to show you how to make a very simple at-home ginger and vanilla ice cream recipe.
This recipe makes roughly about 2 litres of ice cream and roughly 20 to 30 scoops. If you're a greedy person, it's 2 scoops each.
This recipe can be halved if you would like to make a smaller batch, or it can be doubled to make a bigger batch, depending on how big your family is or how much ice cream you really want to make. As I said before, it's 4 simple basic ingredients. You've got 1 litre of whole milk, make sure it's whole milk, 500 ml of double cream, 350 grams of caster sugar and 375 grams of egg yolk. That's between 10 to 20 large yolks. Make sure they're free range, the yolk is always a lot better. So the first thing you got to do is the longest job. So put all the milk and all the cream into a heavy bottom saucepan, and you're going to bring it up to the boil gently on the stove. Keep an eye on it so it doesn't overflow and go everywhere and make a mess. So all these ingredients go into here, like so, and then we're going to warm it up slowly on the fire. Next stage is to add the sugar to the eggs. We can do this whilst this is warming up. Make sure all your eggs and sugar are mixed so you can feel and hear that the sugar is dissolved in the egg. At this stage it should look like that, slightly frothy and slightly light. Okay, so once the eggs and the sugar are incorporated and the milk and the cream has come to blood temperature, if you're not sure what blood temperature is, always touch it with this part of your hand into there. If you can hold it, it's hot enough, as in body temperature or blood temperature, so that's about 37.5, 38 degrees, something like that. Once it's come to temperature, take it off the fire and you're going to incorporate it with your egg yolks and sugar. Okay, this stage is called tempering. It's when you add a little bit of your warm liquid, milk and cream to your eggs, and then you can order it. If you add all of it at once, you end up having a scrambled egg. If you add it too slowly, you still end up having a scrambled egg. So we don't want scrambled egg flavoured ice cream. So what you do is you just whisk and you pour the milk and the cream bit by bit, make sure it's all mixed together. You can do this with 2 people, you can do it how I'm doing it, or you can prop the bowl with the eggs and sugar over a saucepan with a cloth, and it just stabilises it a little bit more. Now you can see I've got to that stage. The eggs have now reached the temperature of the milk and the cream. Now we're going to add all the liquid, like so. Now everything's inside and incorporated. We get a good mix. We'll divide this recipe into 2. Doesn't matter if they're equal or not, depends on your preference or flavour. You can just have this as vanilla, as is, and we're adding vanilla to it now, or you can do what I'm going to do and divide it into 2 and make 1 ginger and 1 vanilla. We've got 2 bowls to put it in, and we have a thumb-sized piece of ginger. All I've done is slice it. It doesn't matter how you slice it. It can be chunky, it can be small. With the skin on it doesn't matter. It's all going to be passed out afterwards once it's infused. That goes into 1 bowl. In the next bowl we have vanilla extract. If you can get vanilla pods, preferably 2 pods will be perfect, but vanilla extract you need about 1 cap, should be enough for what you need. If you want more, just taste it and see if you want any more. Now we're going to add this mix to these 2 bowls. Just give it a gentle mix first to make sure everything's still mixed and nothing's sunk to the bottom. Half of this goes into there. Half of this goes into this one with the ginger. If you like more vanilla or you like more ginger, you can make more and more of each one. It doesn't matter. You can make just pure vanilla. This base also works with chocolate. All you have to do is grab about 200 grams of chocolate and melt it and add it to this stage, give it a good mix, and then you have chocolate ice cream. Right, what I do next is I give it a little stir after it's infused for a few minutes, and a little taste just to see whether it needs any more ginger or vice versa, whether it needs any more vanilla. So we'll just a little taste it quickly. For me, I think it needs more ginger. I quite like it with a little bit of a spicy kick to it from the ginger, so I'll put another thumb-sized piece in there myself, personally. With the ginger, what I do next is I cling film it to make sure it's infused with the ice cream base and allow it to cool. I cling film it nice and tightly so it can just cool naturally. Whilst this one is infusing, we'll check the vanilla to see whether it needs any more vanilla. I quite like it vanilla-y and I like it a lot of seeds. Obviously we're not using the seeds at the moment, so put as much vanilla extract in there as you like, really. I mean, there is no right or wrong with this recipe. Just put in as much as you like. For me, I just need a splash more. One little capful. Another good mix. And the same applies for this one. Leave the cool naturally. You do not have to cling film this one. So my vanilla ice cream base has come to a certain temperature, which is really cold, so about between 2 and 3 degrees. I've got an ice cream machine at home, but if you haven't, you can do the opposite way to me. So what I'm going to do is turn my ice cream machine on so it starts to churn, and I'm going to pour the ice cream into the machine. This is the vanilla base.
So obviously whilst this is churning and you haven't got an ice cream machine, you take your vanilla or your ginger recipe, pour it onto a tray as thin as possible with some cling film and pop it in your freezer. And then the next day, 24 hours later, you can then, once it's frozen, just blend it up in the Robocoupe or the KitchenAid or something of the Magimix style which can blend it. And then there you go, there's your ice cream.
So if you haven't got an ice cream machine like I have here, then what you need to do is line a tray with cling film like I've done, and then we're going to decant this one into there and pop it in our freezer. Firstly though, I'm going to show you quickly how to line that tray with cling film. I know it sounds silly, but it's very simple to do and it really helps a lot. Obviously you can buy normal cling film and not the industrial stuff like I've got here, but the normal cling film works exactly the same. All you do is you measure your tray, the length of your tray with the cling film, like so. You take that bit off there, or if you have the box, just cut it with the box. Repeat that 3 or 4 times, so you have a slightly wider than your tray and slightly longer than your tray. All the pieces overlapping each other, like so. And one more in the middle like that. And then what I got taught is with a kitchen towel or a tea towel, just push the air out of the cling film. So all the layers have formed a little bubble. As you can see here, there's a bubble. That means all the layers of cling film are stuck together and there's air between them. We don't want that. So all you do is push your weight down on the tea towel and on the cling film, and all the bubbles leave the cling film. What you do is you lift your tray. Obviously I've got one done here already. I'll get that one out of the way to show you. You lift your cling film up, pop your tray underneath, and then you just push it down into the gaps. What this achieves is 1 layer of cling film is not enough and it will melt, but 3 or 4 layers of cling film can withstand the heat, and with the heat of the oven, this is only going to make your life easier when you're removing it. If your vanilla or ginger ice cream has come down to temperature, remove the cling film off the ginger, nice and carefully without spilling it everywhere. You don't want to make a mess. And we're going to pass it into this tray. Obviously I've got a big sieve here, you can use a really small sieve if you want. It's just to get out those bits of ginger which have done their job already and they've infused in the ice cream base. So you now have a very flavourful and rich ginger ice cream. Try and put it in the freezer nice and flat and make sure nothing gets on top. As you can see, we have extra bits of cling film around the tray. These are also designed to help you cover your ice cream. Don't worry if it starts to move underneath because it is liquid. That you're not going to see because you're going to blend or mix your ice cream once it's frozen. This then goes into a freezer for 24 hours till firm and set, and then it's churned, and then you have a flavour of ginger or vanilla ice cream.